Uh, I think the bottom line is technology is changing really fast, and us as providers, the key thing that we need to keep in mind and be able to do is be agile and flexible and keep in touch with how technology is changing, because the young people are catching on and using technology way faster than us as providers are understanding and applying the technology. By the time we get on with the game, the young people have sometimes moved on and we are always behind the curve. So I think the key here is agility, flexibility, and ability to stay ahead of the curve. So what's next? I want to link that to your question. When you were doing the introduction, you were talking about the survey that you send out to young people, and they pass on the surveys to other people. So this is an awesome example of how traditional media differs from new media. So when you look at traditional media, TV, radio, newspapers, there was one foci of content development or production, and then that agency or institute created that content and passed it out to millions of people who were a very passive, receptive audience. That's not true at all for new media. Every person within new media has the ability and the technology to create content and be that foci of dissemination. What that also allows young people to do is not have to create any content. A lot of times content comes to them and they pass it on. When you look at Twitter, there's a lot of retweeting that happens. They get information, they pass it on. There's a lot of mention that happens. There's a lot of hashtags going on. So that's a great example of new media, how it differs from traditional media. So the one thing we as providers have to understand and let go of in the future is control. We can't control it, so we shouldn't even attempt to control it. We do our best job, place it out there, the content we want, and then it takes a form of its own and we don't control it, and that's okay. And we need to be okay with that. Unfortunately, some funders might not be very happy. They're like, we gave you money to do this, and I got this message from country Z. Your message cut to country Z to person Y. What's going on? So we need to be careful about those things as well, because they are the reality of the world. So that was one thing. So the other thing, what's going to happen next is a few predictions here. One, by 2014 or 2016, one of those numbers, more people will be accessing the internet on their mobile phones than they do on PCs and laptops and tablets. And if that is true, then it's very important for us who have online presence to make sure that our websites are either mobile compatible or mobile websites, right? That way we'll be able to reach young people with the information they need. The other thing is applications, mobile phone applications. They are the buzz and they'll continue to be the buzz for a little while, at least in the future. And if that is true, then a lot of the curriculum that we've developed, a lot of material, IEC, as we like to call it, that we do interpersonally, you can actually very cheaply convert that into applications and make it available to young people, because they're already accessing news, information, doing searches on their mobile phones. And if that is true, then we need to be there. Final thing, and I'm going to stop there, is us understanding the technology and understanding the concept of search. Because every time young people need information about anything, they search it. They either Google it, or they Bing it, or they Yahoo it, whatever they do. But if you don't pop up in the first page of those test results, your agency will never be reached. You won't get a lot of hits. And if that is true, then you need to make sure that your website, mobile or traditional, is search engine optimized. What that really means is go into the community, find out what are the search terms they're looking for. And if it's search terms around HIV, STDs, etc., make sure those search terms are incorporated in your website. Otherwise, your website will not show up. And I'm going to give you a tool here. There's a tool called Google AdWords. It's free for nonprofits. You can register and you can get that tool. And so whatever work that you're doing, you can go onto that tool, you can put in that word, and you can find out globally and in your region what terms within that topic are being searched for the most and in what manner. For example, herpes. When I Google herpes, I look for symptoms of herpes, treatment of herpes, but that's not what the young people are searching for. The most commonly used search term for herpes amongst young people is, what are herpes? They assume that herpes is plural, which, English being an interesting language, herpes does sound plural, right? So if I didn't know that, I would be putting symptoms of herpes, treatment of herpes, and they would never pop up.